across the room. I dare you play your cards, boy, you bet I'm a trendsetter too. Fire when the strobe hits you.
That's it, Brian?
Alright everybody, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Matt Hatter Angling. Today I'm doing a video on the 2 things every pond hopper needs to know. You fish ponds a lot, these are some great things for you to know to help you find fish. Alright, the first thing that every pond hopper needs to know and look for when they get to a pond and they're looking for fish is, does the pond have any other signs that it looks like it's taken care of? And taken care of, in other words, stocked. So if there's bluegill and carp there, then you'll probably find some bass there. If there's fountains in there, usually sometimes that means good, and there has to be natural water clarity. It can't be like colored, because usually when there's a lot of color, there's a lot of chemicals in there, and that falls under that whole category. So if you find a pond that has a lot of color in it and doesn't have a very natural looking color, probably just want to skip over it and bounce to the next pond. Also, another thing about that is if there's an abundance of baits, so small bluegills or bait fish, or a bunch of tiny frogs or a ton of frogs, and you just see a million frogs jumping off the shore, you also might just want to skip over that pond, because that usually means that they're not getting eaten as much as they should be, and the population just isn't really controlled by other types of predators. Okay, so the second thing that you need to look for when going to pond fish is if your pond is big enough to hold life. You know, some ponds aren't even that big, and it looks like they may be taken care of, and there's not a lot of abundance of, you know, bait fish or weeds or chemicals, but it has all the same right conditions, but it just isn't big. Usually those ponds don't hold a lot of fish. Now I do sometimes fish really small ponds, and some of them do have good fish in them, but most of the time I just skip over them if they're too small. And then I want to talk about one thing that every pond hopper needs to use, and that's Google Maps. And every fisherman is probably familiar with Google Maps and they know how to use it, but it's a great tool to find ponds. All you do is go up on the satellite vision, and everything that is a body of water will show up in blue. And then you just write down the street names of that pond or that wherever you want to fish, the river, whatever, and go there. Just type in your GPS on your phone or on your GPS, and you can be there in 2 seconds. It's a lot easier than just driving around aimlessly and hoping that you drive past a pond or a river that you can fish. Also, you can see from the Google Maps satellite vision, like where it's detailed and stuff, like what the layout of the pond looks like, if it has lily pads or if it has a ton of grass or anything like that. But yeah, so here's some videos, just random videos. I got, you know, my brother catching his first bass, my dad catching 2 giant smallmouth out on this river by our house, and then a 3-pounder that we caught out of this pond by my house. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and see you on the next one. Alright, so we just put the fly rods in the water. First cast, my dad hooks up to that beast. That's what I'm talking about, Dad.
Nice. Say goodbye. You put him in the water?
Yeah. There you go, now you're recording.
Third cast.
Big old boy.
Okay, how'd I turn it off?
Just keep filming it.
Is it hard for you to reel that reel?
No, it's just...
Good job, man.
Okay, can we let him back?
Yeah, you gotta get him.
Why?
Because you caught him, he's your fish. Not that close, back up. Keep backing up. There you go. Good job.
How do I let him in?
Throw him back in.
Throw him?
Bet you're looking for something new. Staring up across the room.
My dad's second fish on the fly rod. I'm waist deep in water. My kayak's floating